There are many aspects to a media relations campaign. You don't want to just write press releases. It's very important that you know who you're sending to. You got to be very careful with how you put your list together in terms of finding the right people, the right audiences, but then also building a relationship over time. Ideally, you want the editors to see you as a resource for information on your client and your client's industry. The essential aspects of a media relations campaign are pre-planning. You need to know who you're talking to, what you want to say, and what you want them to take away from it. It's not enough just to send out a bunch of press releases and say at the end of the day, okay, we got 75 placements. It's important to look at each and every one of those placements and see that your messaging is pulled through. One of the most often overlooked elements of planning a media relations campaign, oddly enough, is timing. Obviously, there are oftentimes launch dates where you say, okay, product's going to be ready to go to market on June 3rd. So you're going to do your press announcement perhaps on June 3rd. What you need to do, in addition to getting the press release out and having all your materials ready, you want to make sure that the website is up to date and has all the information for anybody who sees the news and decides, hey, I want to learn more. They're going to go to the website. You're going to want to make sure that you have company executives on hand to talk to media because they may want more information above and beyond what's in the press release, which can oftentimes be pretty minimal. It just basically scratches the surface and it's basically inviting the conversation. All press releases and announcements are not created equal. It's important to talk with your client and find out, we like to say, is there an A list, an A releases versus B releases. An A release would be a major merger or a major product that really the company's depending on to be one of the biggest releases perhaps of the year. And then there's other announcements like partnership announcements where companies will decide to work together on a promotion of some sort. It's certainly newsworthy, but it's not as big a piece of news. So it's important to work with the client to understand where you're going to be sending the news. The client's responsibilities in supporting a media relations campaign is to give us everything that we need to be successful. That includes all the information up front, as well on the product, for instance. You want to make sure that you understand the product, the significance of the product to the company, but also the significance, or perhaps more importantly, the significance of the product to the industry. You can determine a media relations campaign being truly successful not by the number of clips that you get. That is one determinant perhaps, but it's more importantly, you want to see where did you get the placements. I mean, obviously a placement in the New York Times means more than a placement in some trade magazine somewhere, or it could, depending on what the product or service is that you're promoting. But you want to make sure also that the message pull-through is there, meaning that whatever it is you set up ahead of time as your key messages in your press release and in your outreach to media, make sure that they actually use those points in the stories. A single media relations campaign needs to fit into the overall marketing program. Your company is you want your company to be known to have a reputation in a certain area of expertise in terms of bringing value to the marketplace. And not all products are going to be as strong as others in terms of getting that across. A minor product doesn't mean as much as a major product, but regardless of what the product is, you have to make sure that there's overall key messages that you want people to know about your company, about what you do, how you approach the marketplace, regardless of what product it is. It could be the big product, or it could be a product that's not as important, but at the same time, company messaging is always important and needs to run through everything that you do.